The human psyche, fragile, cryptic, fascinating, capable of talents beyond belief, yet vulnerable to being driven to psychosis. When perception becomes reality and truth is subjective, the world within the mind can feel like you've stepped into a bizarre parallel universe. Or maybe you just entered into the mad zone.
Optimist, Sagittarius, but you know I'm an optimist. Can't keep it doing real, I'm a prostitute.
If this is on your For You page, you are probably interested in shifting realities, specifically to Hogwarts. So something really exciting happened to me yesterday. So I've been attempting to shift realities for a couple weeks now. I haven't quite got it down yet, but we have all been saying, like, all over this app, I hear everyone say, I want my letter to Hogwarts. Why haven't I got my letter to Hogwarts yet? Or, I wish so bad that Hogwarts could be real. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is. Not just because we saw it in the sky, even though that's like proof we need, but because I'm a firm believer in signs the universe gives you. And yesterday I got my letter to Hogwarts. And no, I didn't print it off there.
Shifters, stop scrolling. This will help you. So basically, in order to shift, you need to tire out your mind. Your mind needs to be tired. And a bunch of methods have things that will do this. For example, counting or affirming. And now you need to think of your DR. So this part is visualization, affirming things about yourself, just having intent. But one of the most important parts is emotion. If you think about your DR and you get happy, your consciousness is going to want to follow that happy place and then help you shift. So when you think of your DR, think about how happy you'll feel when you shift. Think about how happy your comfort characters will make you. And then you're going to want to shift there. Every part of your body, every part of your consciousness is going to want to shift. And you will. You're welcome.
I'm going to tell you the exact reason you're not shifting. The reason you're not shifting is because you live every day like you haven't shifted. You live every day complaining that you're not in your DR. You complain that you haven't shifted. What is that doing? That's reaffirming the old. Stop, okay? Just stop. What you're going to want to do is every time you have a thought of, oh my God, I really wish I could shift. No. You're going to twist that thought and be like, oh my God, I'm so happy that shifting is so easy for me. I'm so happy I shift all the time. I always shift. Stop reaffirming the old because it's going to manifest the old. All you have to do to shift is convince yourself it's easy. And that's not hard because I'm going to tell you a little secret. No matter if you believe it or not, your manifestations and your thoughts will come true. You don't have to believe your affirmations at all, but if you keep affirming, your subconscious mind will believe it. And your subconscious is what manifests and what shifts. So just listen to me. I have a hair mask in. Ignore that. But no, you don't have to believe your affirmations at all. Because it's kind of difficult to sometimes. Are you shifting just because like it correlates to the topic? My affirmations are going to be, I shift all the time. I wake up in my DR all the time. I'm a master shifter. I shift so easily. Now, the fact that in this reality currently, that's not necessarily the case, it's kind of hard to believe. My brain's like, But what's important is you keep doing that and you don't create resistance. An example of resistance could be trying a method and waking up here and being like, I'm in my CR, I didn't even shift. Because that'll create resistance, which is what comes between you and your affirmations. But if you keep repeating your affirmations so much and clear any resistance you might have, your affirmations will start to become reality. So no, you don't have to believe the affirmations you're saying, just don't create any resistance.
Okay, I'm speaking my truth. This is gonna be tough love, okay? I'm not upset with anybody, but I feel like people need to hear this. Here's the thing, I totally understand the frustration of not being able to shift. I've been there. You know, I shifted for the first time in January, but it took me over half a year to shift for the first time. And I know some of you guys have been trying for longer than that, so I can't even imagine how you're feeling right now. But I can relate. Here's the thing though, constantly commenting on videos, I can't shift, I can't do it, it's never gonna happen for me. Well, yeah, not with that mindset. I'm being very straightforward here. If you're continuously going to bed trying to shift, but you constantly are telling yourself it's not gonna work, it's not gonna happen, then like, are you surprised that it isn't? I don't know, commenting stuff like that on my videos, especially on my main account, it's just so unmotivating for so many people. And your feelings are valid, 110%. But you're not helping yourself by like affirming that to yourself constantly. Like that's not doing you any good. So if I see comments like that, I'm gonna delete them. I'm just saying.
When was the last time you got any sleep?
I don't know, 2-3 days, not important. I don't need sleep, I need answers.
Hey, so I just watched the Odd Ones Out video about shifting, and I already posted a video a little bit about my thoughts, but I want to remind you of something. Throughout your life, people are not going to agree with you. People are going to tell you that what you believe in just isn't true. Because, you know, it can't be proven with fact, so it must be fiction. And that's okay. This is something that I've had to learn. It's okay that people do not love something as much as you love it, and it's okay that they don't believe in it. That does not mean that it's not real. Because whatever it is, you're experiencing it, you're getting feelings from it, so it's real to you. For a compilation of experiences, this could have been called a wallop instead of a water bottle. But we've collectively agreed that it's called a water bottle. I strongly believe we're the creators of our universe. I have trouble proving it sometimes, but that doesn't make it any less real to me.
Wait. Morning, ma'am. Is young me? Hello. Young me.
You want to know something I want to talk about? That I don't see a lot of shit talkers talking about? I think I just said shit talkers talking about. Shift talkers talking about. Jesus. Ah! Okay, anyway. Okay, so back to what I was saying. One thing that I've noticed that shift talkers don't talk about is how does the visualization work in your mind? It's okay if you see black. It's okay if, like, when you're visualizing, everything is black. Because that's what I see. I just see black and I see the outlines and everyone and stuff like that. And the closer I get to shifting, the more solid those images become. So if you see black while you're visualizing and you're seeing kind of these, like, shapes forming and stuff like that, that's good. That is okay, and you are still attempting to shift. You are doing everything right. So hopefully this helps. So do you guys want to see a flame? Oh, I pointed the camera and she started dancing. Oh.
I saw this comment and my heart just went... So, hi. No, it's perfectly okay for you to ask shifters what method they use. Everyone uses different methods. I actually use my own personal methods, which I made a video about one of them, which I call The Path, which is basically... I made a whole video about it, but, yeah, there's all kinds of different methods. You gotta figure out what works for you, honestly. Like, the first time I shift, I wasn't expecting to. So I'm not, and I've only been shifting for a month, and I have used quite a few different methods because I've been just seeing what works for me easiest and like seeing just how things go, what happens. So yeah, If you have more questions, drop them in the comments. I'm willing to answer every single one I can. I'm just do my best to answer. It's just I use my own methods. I've tried Raven method, tried a few other methods, didn't work for me. So yeah, you just gotta figure out what works for you.
Aw, you look so cute sitting there doing absolutely fucking nothing, bitch!
Okay, I've said this once and I'll say it again. There are no failed shifting attempts. Every single attempt, even if it doesn't work, gets you closer to actually shifting. Let me think about how to describe this for a second. As of the moment that I am making this video, most people agree that shifting is based on matching the vibrational frequency, of your desired reality. So the more you practice that, the closer you actually get to matching it and to shifting to your desired reality. I used to think of it as like a video game experience bar. You can't go backwards, you can only go forward. The one problem being we don't know how much more experience we need to gain in order to actually level up. But even if it doesn't work, you're still getting closer. You literally can't fail here. Not if you keep trying. If you decide to quit completely and never try again, that's when you fail. So go get as much practice as you possibly can so that you can actually get there. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. I'm so proud of how far you've come. I know people don't say that a lot, but I'm proud of you. Drink your water, eat your food, take your medication. Have a great day.
Okay guys, this is a good tip. So I tried shifting a few days ago during the day and I was getting symptoms. I was listening to a subliminal, you know. And then I saw, like a week before, I saw like a TikTok of this person saying to imagine licking things, like visualizing licking things, because like then you can like feel it. Because, you know, like if you look at something and you pretend to lick it, like you'll know what it feels like, even if you've never licked it before. So I started doing that and it was actually working. Like I was getting so many more symptoms. I don't know why, but so I was just licking things, like visualizing licking things. So I don't know who thought of this, so if you know them, tag them, but it works really well. So if you struggle trying to feel your DR, I suggest licking.
Let's talk about shifting to a waiting room and seeing if it might be a good fit for you to shift there first. And before I start, I do want to preface that shifting to a waiting room is 100% shifting. Just like you would to a desired reality, you're shifting to a waiting room. So what even is a waiting room? A waiting room typically serves as a place in between your original reality and your desired reality. It is like your own personal space, and you can make it whatever you'd like it to be. It can be a huge house, a field of flowers, a beach, absolutely anything. A lot of people like to have waiting rooms to just prepare to go to their desired realities, edit or finalize their script before they go, or just have a place to sit back and relax. So how might a waiting room be a good fit for you? The first big one is if you plan to go to multiple realities. People use waiting rooms as a good place to organize which one they'd like to go to. So for example, I know of people who have a waiting room that is a big house and different doors lead them to different realities. Another way a waiting room could be a good fit for you is if you've ever shifted to your desired reality but got too excited and because of that went back to your original reality. Because at a waiting room you would have already successfully shifted as well, but there's not that extra excitement there of being in your desired reality. This way you can get your emotions in check and then go to your desired reality right after.
Hi, it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos, so I'm gonna give you some kind of aggressive shifting motivation for this evening. Here's the thing, I know you've been trying to shift. It's been a year now, give or take. I know how frustrating that is, trust me. It sucks, and it's upsetting, and it's frustrating, and at this point, it's really unmotivating. Those feelings that you're feeling, they're okay. It's okay to feel that way. You know, feel those feelings, recognize them. I don't like how everybody constantly tells you that you have to have the most positive mindset while you're shifting. I've always said this, I don't personally think that that's true. Don't ignore those feelings. I think it helps to process them and acknowledge them. But I'm gonna tell you something I wish somebody told me when I was trying to shift for over half a year. Bestie, I love you so much, but telling yourself it's not gonna work for you, telling yourself it's never gonna happen because it's taken this long, that isn't helping you. You're constantly like affirming to yourself that it's not gonna happen. So like, no wonder it isn't. Prove yourself wrong. Because I swear to God, shifting, it's not like some people can and others can't.
Now that was a lot of damage. Woo!
Every single invitation to this event has been declined.
What? Let me take a look at this. Are you joking me? Hold on. Barack Obama said no?
Lady Gaga said no? Oprah Winfrey said no? Oh my God, Macklemore said no!
If you aren't having success trying to shift realities, then you're probably making this one critical mistake. You see, when shifting realities, the absolute key is that state of being. What this means is when you're envisioning your scene, when you're feeling the feelings of that particular reality, you have to make sure that you're not feeling this as something that happens in the future, as something that you need to get. You would want to feel it as something real to you now. Feel it as a present moment reality. Maybe even feel it as something that's already happened. Because time isn't really real. So if you feel it as a present moment reality, this is what puts you into that state where this is your reality. And thus, you shift. And if you want some more help on how to do this, click the link in my bio and schedule a discovery call with me today to join my manifestation mentoring program.
The self-hypnosis thing has helped over 20 people shift. And those are the people that have told me about it. That's crazy. So try it if you haven't. Just scroll down, it says how to self-hypnotize yourself into shifting. That's the title. But it's helped so many people shift. Okay. I just don't believe it. And I told my grandpa, he believes it because your inner mind is 10 times stronger than your conscious mind, which is what he told me. So that's why it works. You give instructions to your unconscious mind, your inner mind, and those instructions will work because your unconscious mind is way stronger. So your unconscious mind can easily shift. Your conscious mind has a little, it's harder. So do the self-hypnosis thing. I cannot, okay, this is the best thing, guys. I swear, do it. And if you do it and then you feel dizzy, that means it's working. I guess I'll just explain it again. Put your finger right here on your third eye, close your eyes, and say an affirmation. For example, I will be able to shift tonight. Or like, this doesn't have to be about shifting. What if you were taking a test? You can say like, I will remember all the knowledge I need. Oh, make sure your eyes are closed and your fingers right there. I will remember all the knowledge that I've studied. You can say that. You literally have the power to do anything. You can make your mind do whatever you want. Do it if you want to shift or anything in general. I promise.
When you're adding details into your script, all you're doing is you're specifying which reality you're going into. You're not creating a new reality. There are trillions of realities, okay? So yes, there is a reality where you're in a poly relationship with Dobby and Hawks. Go for them. Number 2, you can get stuck in your desired reality. No, you cannot. It's not gonna happen. You are in control. You can get out of there the second you want to get out of there. So please don't worry about it. Number 3, if you try shifting into Psyche K, Psyche will kick you out. It's a funny joke, but that's all it is, a joke. Nobody's gonna kick you out unless you literally script that somebody's gonna kick you out. Or if you shift expecting that he will kick you out. Because again, you're the main character here. Like for part 2.
Misconception number 5. The people in your desired reality aren't real, therefore you can treat them however you want to. They're as real as we are, and their reality is as real as our reality. So if you treat them bad, you're gonna get karma for it. And plus, it's just a shitty move coming from you. So please treat them with respect and how you would treat a regular person in this reality. Misconception number 6. Every subliminal works for you. Actually, some affirmations used in some subliminals might not suit you and your desire. Some subliminals might have bad affirmations that take your energy away. So either make your own subliminal or find one that you're sure is safe.
Nothing. I'm an angel. I'm an angel.
I won't drag on down.
messy assholes don't speak on me. Keep my name out your mouth cause I don't beat for free.
Here's how I've shifted without visualizing. When I laid down for bed that night, I said out loud, I give my body permission to shift. I would do this no matter what method you use because I've only ever shifted when I've explicitly said I give my body permission to. I'll typically start counting to calm my brain down because my anxiety will have me bouncing off the walls in my head, but counting will give it something to do and I'll calm down. Once I lose track of the counting and I realize my mind has wandered somewhere else, that's when I start focusing on my breath work. So I'll literally just think in my head, in, out. And I'll keep doing that until I have a small realization that I can't feel my body anymore. And I just reaffirm to myself, I give myself permission to shift. I give myself permission to shift to my desired reality. And then I'll just fall asleep and I either shift or I don't. This is my lazy method because I use this to help me fall asleep just in general. And I really just say I give myself permission to shift, but I never really expect to shift. And this is the method I've shifted with most on nights I didn't even intend to shift. Just giving your body permission goes a long way.
My God! Fuck! I love anime so much! I can't hide it! I get so fucking pumped when I watch anime! Shit!
Anime is for nerds.
Fuck yeah, it is! Check out my favorite jacket.
Damn!
Yeah, it's from a goddamn anime! It's about a gay swim team!
What did you do this weekend?
I stayed home and cried because of anime! It was beautiful and fulfilling! Karasuno! Welcome to my home. Bam! Anime! This wall scroll is bigger than me! This whole wall is devoted to one anime! Ah! Ah!
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give up if I come out bleeding. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give up if I come out bleeding. This is my last resort.
Respectfully, fuck shifting to Hogwarts. Has anyone ever shifted to a planet where men do not exist? Because this sounds like a place I want to be.
Please. I don't think I've talked about how Legolas and I get together, but I didn't script anything for our relationship. And I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna have a really nice, smooth relationship that's not gonna be spicy at all. Then I started doing tarot readings. Realized that I was going to be with the company when they went to go take back the Lonely Mountain. So Legolas and I met back then, before the Council of Elrond and the whole ring debacle. I fucking hated Legolas around that period of time. I thought he was such an asshole. So around the time of the council, he had said some really fucked up shit to me. I don't know what it was, but it was something in regards to Keeley, who's my best friend. And at the Council of Elrond, he's like, damn. And he apologizes. I really thought I was just gonna have a normal romance, but the universe said enemies to lovers.
Because hold up, I think I just experienced the Mandela effect. Or what? I shifted realities? What's going on? I got this pin from Shein in like February. And then I saw the TikTok thing, but then I put them over here because I didn't want to pop my airbags on accident. I was just looking in the back seats for somewhere to buckle in this moon water that my coworker wants, because it's not a waterproof dog. And then I saw this in here and I'm like, ooh, what's that? What is that? I pick it up. I'm like, okay, when did this fall down? It never did. It's still there. I only had one. But now I have two. Somebody sedate me.
So I just started work with a new therapist, and today we reached that point in our relationship where I had no other option but to mention that I'm a reality shifter. And whenever this conversation comes up with anyone, my heart starts to race and I get extremely nervous. Because as I'm sure most of you know, reality shifting isn't something that people take easily. And telling this to a mental health professional, I'm like, this is going to go one of two ways. They're either going to be like, oh, that's cool, or they're going to recommend that I'm committed. But I've been feeling amazing about this therapist, and I honestly feel like all the work I've done in different types of therapy have prepared me for this specific therapist. So I go for it. I tell her about it. All of it. My different DRs, my experiences, all of it. And she's sitting there, she's so interested, she's asking questions, we're talking about the science behind it. And finally she's like, this is amazing, what you do is amazing, I want to try this.
Have you ever been in love?
I don't think so.
Do you want me to describe it to you?
Escucha las palabras de las brujas, los secretos escondidos en la noche. Los antiguos dioses invocamos ahora la obra de la magia oculta.
I just remembered what happened in September. I'm the one who killed them all. I survived after the fall.
Oh, you script traumatic things to happen to you in your DR? So you're that therapist and comic relief friend who's too scared to show any real vulnerability, probably because of the past trauma that you've experienced that you feel wasn't bad enough to warrant your current mental health issues, and feels incredibly guilty if anyone takes care of you in any capacity. So you script that you'll be visibly injured, incredibly injured, in front of your comfort characters, so you're forced to let them take care of you, in a way that validates your trauma and shows you that some people actually do care about you. Good to know.
I hate it here. I hate school. I hate all men. I hate her. I hate you. I hate everyone. I hate love.
Hey, Shadi!
I have had the worst week of my life. And I needed you.
It's just a cigarette, and it cannot be that bad.
Honey, don't you love me, and you know it makes me sad.
So I opened the door, and the bitch came out. She was like, "You won't get your ass right now!
So I made a bold decision. I bought a book that's not fiction. Now before you keep scrolling thinking this is just a book review, it is related to shifting and manifestation. Hear me out. This book is called Witchcraft Therapy. Now if you're not into witchcraft and everything, that's cool. Just keep listening. So much of shifting relies on manifestation and our intentions. A lot of what's happening right now, what you could say is trending, is people manifesting their ability to shift. The entire beginning of this book talks purely about manifestation and why it might not be working. And here's one of the things that I was really shocked to learn, and you're gonna think that I'm so stupid for this, but oh my god. You can't just manifest and expect something to happen. You have to do something. The example that this girl used is like, you can't just manifest a job and not go job hunting. Nothing's gonna happen that way. So if you're manifesting shifting, you need to do things to better yourself. Manifestation is meant to be used as something to aid action. It doesn't just work all on its own. Yes, people experience miracles with it. If you have a strong enough intention, maybe it'll work, but it's best to use it with other things. Meditation, drinking water, exercising, making sure you get your work done, working on your mental health. That's why so many self-care things were linked to being able to shift in the beginning of this whole shift talk thing. Not because they're necessary, but because they will help you. And when it comes to manifestation, they will really help you.
Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna keep reading this because it's a good book and it's well written. It's very casual and I love that. Have a good day.
You fuckers. You fuckers. You motherfucker. I will rain hellfire upon you.
I just got mind. Okay, hear me out. So you know how everybody's talking about reality shifting and going to another universe? We can do that to their universe. What if somebody did that to us? And we're just created in someone's mind. Like, this image of me is created in someone else's mind. Maybe that's why that theory about multiple universes and multiple versions of you is because there are multiple versions of you created by other people. Like, what if I only exist in someone's mind? Because thinking about it, this room is not physical. Like, I'm not inside this room. This room is inside me because I'm a brain. And that image of the room gets reflected onto like my head, so the room is in me.
I just had a realization about my shifting technique that makes me want to commit first-degree murder. Okay? I've been trying sleep methods for the last 3 weeks, okay? 11 attempts in total. I've been trying sleep methods, only tried an awake method once. Every night that I'm gonna shift, I do a fucking sleep method. And apparently, when I read the instructions for a sleep method, my pea-sized little brain never fully processed the information that you're supposed to fall asleep afterwards. Because you know what I never do? I never fucking fall asleep. I've been getting up, going to the bathroom, opening a window, moving, checking my phone afterwards because I don't shift automatically. No shit, you're not shifting automatically. It's a fucking sleep method. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? Am I dumb? Is my skull the thickness of a fucking apple or something? I don't fucking know. There's sleep methods, and never once have I fallen asleep directly after a method. Not once. And I wonder why I haven't been shifting. And I wonder. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to...
Hi guys! According to quantum physics, there are an infinite amount of parallel universes at this very moment. What reality shifting is basically doing is putting your mind in one of those parallel universes. In this parallel universe, you are able to shift your mind into any universe that you really want to go to. Now, these universes do exist. Think of it this way. There are two different universes. Option 1, you take a sip of water. Option 2, you don't take a sip of water. These two universes are now created. At this moment, you're currently living in that situation where you did take a sip of water. So you have taken the path of your current reality. That is your CR. Your CR is the part where you're taking place in right at this very moment and you are currently doing such things. Whereas option number 2, you didn't take the path, but the reality where you did do it was created. So in that instance, you could be placing your mind in that second universe where you have done that instance. Same thing as reality shifting. Reality shifting is placing your mind on that first level where you were able to shift your mind into the second level of realities. This first reality level is able to place your mind in a state to reality shift to any universe you want. Subconscious awareness is placing your mind in 3 different states. Step 1, subconscious control or lucid dreaming. Step 2, subconscious lifting or reality shifting. Step 3, subconscious separation or astral projection. See you guys.
I am genuinely worried about the health of some of these children. This phenomenon we are bringing the word back is no exception to my parental worry I have for these TikTok kids. The TikTok kids lately have been claiming that they can shift realities. And the first reaction for any normal person when presented with the concept of shifting should be, what the fuck? There's this Urban Dictionary definition that was obviously written by a shifter that is utterly insane, actually. It's the moving of your conscious mind to an alternate reality through the use of manifestation and quantum physics. You can imagine my concern was not waned with such a definition. A lot of the shifting community is a bit spiritual, and they do think that these realities are very real. My problem with that is it's not just an innocent spiritual thing. I'm afraid of the mental harm you could possibly be causing these vulnerable teenagers. Generation Z is a vulnerable generation mentally because we are extremely mentally ill, but we are also faced with the reality that we don't really have a bright future ahead of us. My first question when researching or wanting to know what the hell shifting is was, are these children gonna end up giving themselves psychosis, maladaptive daydreaming? Are they going to become addicted to this coping mechanism, whether it's real, whether it's lucid dreaming, no matter what the science is this going to cause mental harm? That's what makes this shifting thing so sinister to me, is that it's targeting mentally vulnerable teenagers and giving them a coping mechanism that could possibly become something nefarious. I'm going to use this Vice article. They had a quote from a therapist that sort of jump-started my research, because this is a difficult thing to research when there really are no scientific articles on the word shifting. You had to get a bit more technical with it. Technical and medical. What's the science behind this strange phenomenon? Grace Warwick is a therapist with expertise in anomalous experiences. She says that this isn't lucid dreaming, but is instead something called a transliminal experience. Transliminal experiences occur when awake and are most common when the mind is in a soothed state. For example, upon waking and before falling asleep, she explains. The instructions for shifting that abound on social media include being half asleep as a start point. They then introduce repetitive music or counting backwards slowly. All these factors would induce a state conducive to a transliminal experience. An interesting aspect of the techniques is the central part that a prepared script plays. I would liken the role of the script to creating a guided meditation or working with active imagination. Transliminality is, yes, different than lucid dreaming, but they're both positively correlated, and they're both positively correlated with psychosis. For the vast majority, the current trend is simply the next iteration of our relationship to altered states, enjoyable and seemingly magical. But I would urge a sense of caution, she says. Key indicators to seek mental health support would be if the shifter experienced anything that created fear for them or challenged their belief system regarding what we would refer to as consensual reality. Also, seek help if there is any ongoing drifting into altered states outside of the intended shifting sessions. That did not quell my concern. I don't think altered states of reality is a really good coping mechanism. I would ask the people that take drugs that alter their states of reality. Not great, guys. Came from the founder of the idea of transliminality. Transliminality, literally going beyond the threshold, was a concept introduced by the parapsychologist Michael Talborn, an Australian psychologist who was based at the University of Adelaide. It is defined as a hypersensitivity to the psychological material, imagery, ideation, effect, and perception originating in the unconscious and/or the external environment. High degrees of this trait have been shown by Talborn to be associated with increased tendency to mystical experience, greater creativity, and greater belief in the paranormal. But Talborn has also found evidence that transliminality may be positively correlated with psychoticism. Now, it should be noted both transliminal experiences and lucid dreaming have similar brain patterns to that of people that deal with psychosis. When you are dealing with a vulnerable generation like Generation Z, a lot of these non-harmful experiences you can go through can become harmful as you become addicted to it. Drinking alcohol once isn't harmful, but I feel like Generation Z will drink alcohol to escape reality and have it become addictive, which is what I'm worried about with this shifting realities nonsense. Whatever is going on here, scientific, CIA whatever the fuck is going on here, I am worried about the addictive properties of it. Not to mention the psychotic symptoms that these kids are just casually claiming to have, that they claim is just part of the shifting experience. These kids will hear voices when they are awake. They will feel people touching them when they're awake. When they wake up from their current reality, they will still have their dream reality body because, you can, script. Apparently, you can write shit down and, script the reality you want to shift to. This is not normal. The shifting community is making psychotic symptoms normal. The brain is very fragile. Its grasp on reality is fairly fragile. You know the phrase, go outside and touch some grass? That's for you. Go outside, touch some grass.
Deeply confused. I originally saw a couple of these TikToks reposted on Twitter where people were like, hey, look at what Gen Z's doing now. You can say that's concerning behavior. At first, I thought all of this was like hilariously weird, but then I fell down the rabbit hole and it just got more and more concerning the further I went down. So from what I've gathered, most of the participants will actually write out like a full-on, script of what they're going to experience while they're shifting. Yes, they essentially write out what they're going to dream or shift into, and they call this stage scripting. Apparently the goal is to slip into this desired reality, which is often abbreviated to DR in this whole community. So these are the symptoms of being a shifter, or signs that you're on the brink of shifting. I don't know. So here's a screenshot I took of that TikTok. Signs, symptoms that you are close to shifting into your desired reality. Attempting to shift. Urges to itch or move. Shivers. Twitching. Eyes, nose, etc. Uncontrollable spams in your muscles. They probably are trying to say spasms. Feeling like if you're floating. Feeling dizzy, seeing flashes of white while your eyes are closed, feeling as if everything is shaking. So that's apparently while attempting to shift, and then during the day, you can have headaches and migraines, feeling homesick or out of place even if you're in your CR. Current reality,
I think. I don't know.
Okay, so you have desired realities and current realities here going on.
That's a guess, though, I'm assuming.
Seeing similarities in your CR that you scripted to be in your DR. Isn't that just called manifesting? Seeing angel numbers everywhere. 11111 2222, etc. We'll get into numbers later on because it has a very dark twist.
Told me she was coming in here to study. Well, then she has to be here. Well, do you see her? No, do you see her? Then she has to be in here somewhere. Just keep looking. Oh, there she is. I see her. Come on, let's go over. Candace. Yes, boys. George and I had some questions about where you're from. Okay. What is it? So, basically, what's it like? I guess it's pretty much just like the Muggle world. What? It has to be cooler than that. Didn't you say that you make videos about our conversations? Do you still make videos about our conversations? Yeah. Well, do people like them? I guess so. I mean, you've asked us some questions about stuff, so, are those from those people? Yeah. Okay, well, tell us more. What do you do? I listen to music. Well, what music do you listen to? Well, can we listen to it? Well, that's going to be a tough one to do. Why? I'll figure it out. I'll let you listen.
I mean, hopefully these kids turn into fantasy writers. That would be awesome to see. But is this also a side effect of locking this entire generation inside without being able to go out and talk to real people for an entire year? Yes, I think it is. So what I've seen from my brief observation of the whole shift talk community, it seems to be very common to share reality shifting methods to try out. And one of those methods that became very popular was this shift code. The legend goes that if this shift code is properly manifested, it will aid you in the reality shifting process. It's a certain sequence of numbers on your arm, and this strand of numbers that is on your arm, which totally doesn't remind people of anything else, that is supposed to help you shift into a better reality, or to somehow make it easier for you to shift into your desired reality. So the absolute crazy part here is that's all utter BS. If I guess they had any effects from writing down numbers on their arm, that was all placebo, because the whole concept of this shift code was created by a anti-Semitic man, a complete menace to society, like literally. And this really shows the importance of paying attention in history class. But here's some TikToks explaining the code on the arm.
Guys, I don't want to take away from your Cobb's video, so please go watch that. All I'm going to say is that I was wrong. Not only is just writing the numbers on your wrist anti-Semitic, the numbers are incredibly anti-Semitic. The creator of the numbers are incredibly anti-Semitic. I'd say drop the grab avoid thing fully. It goes a lot deeper than you realize. That I'm literally going to have to make a formal video with a script on it. But long story short, you're basically kind of unknowingly inaugurating yourself into a cult. A clearly really anti-Semitic one at that. The 4chan trolls knew about this a lot sooner than we did. But when y'all started writing it on your wrist on your own, it started dog whistling for them and they started talking about it. But like a lot of is going on with the grab avoid code. We'll elaborate more tomorrow after this. I'm gonna let a couple more creators onto my platform and we will talk about this tomorrow. It will be largely informational, but please tag people in this video in the meantime. If you have the codes, I will take them off. They're incredibly disrespectful. They're incredibly anti-Semitic. The creator is anti-Semitic. The whole is just a really culty thing. Just don't. That's it.
So if there's anything to learn from this, don't blindly do what people do on TikTok.
It has come to my attention that the man who created those universal cheat codes that we see is extremely anti-Semitic, a fraud, a liar, and the head of a cult. I've taken down both videos where I talk about these numbers because I am not going to affiliate myself with this man nor those numbers. Those numbers are fake, they do not work, and if you had any results, they were placebo effect. Writing numbers on your wrist is extremely anti-Semitic. This man is extremely anti-Semitic, and the basis of his cult and the basis of those numbers are extremely anti-Semitic. I'm going to be tagging the creator who brought light to this situation, and I'm going to put her in the description of this video, so please go click her profile because she does this a lot more justice than I do. But please, we are not using these numbers anymore. We're not supporting a man like that. Not in this house.
I feel bad for them. It's kind of hilarious. It's hilarious and it's messed up at the same time.
You know what this sort of is?
What?
Modern day Coney 2012.
Is astral projection scary? This is the question I want to answer in this video. And I want to say straight off the bat, it really does depend on what expectation you have of astral projection, what you think is going to happen as you go into the experience. You're experiencing a different dimension. This is so different to hallucinations, to lucid dreams, to all of these other altered states of consciousness, because not only is it an altered state of consciousness, but it's actually a different reality that consciousness is experiencing. As I've said in another video, you need to make sure you're hydrated enough, because when you are astral projecting, firstly, you use up a lot of energy. And secondly, if you're dehydrated, it's going to limit your experience. You're going to bring yourself back, to physical reality. Another one from a user called Makeup Loving Mum. My first and only time astral projecting was when I was 20. I had been practicing for over a year to astral project, and I finally did it. I was lying in bed when I left my body and everything looked like my room, only reality as I thought I knew it was just a fabrication of my mind. And I felt like what I was experiencing was true reality, and it shattered my view of the waking world. This seems a very common thing as well for psychedelics. People tend, especially DMT, people will report that when they first take them, it's almost like the illusion or the hallucination is the real world, and this reality that we're in now is the fake world, or not as real. After realising this, I looked at my body and saw that my eyes were open and looking in the corner of my bedroom. I turned my astral head to the direction my body's eyes were looking, and I sensed an ancient, malevolent being of the darkest light I've ever seen. I felt blackness rather than seeing it, and it was the deepest, darkest black. I don't know how else to describe it, other than I knew it was ancient, and I knew it was a really dark thing. I felt its knowing presence looking at me, and it scared me back into my body, and I've never tried to do it since.
When I was 12, I started having bad experiences with the Hat Man. He attached himself to my childhood home, and I subsequently suffered sleep paralysis every night for about 7 years. I fought it off every time, not wanting to give in because honestly I was terrified. And information I could find online at the time, we're talking like 20 years ago, wasn't anything helpful or insightful. When I moved out, the SP stopped. Fast forward to now, a couple months ago, I was reading about AP. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I never put two and two together, that SP is genuinely the gateway to AP. I also didn't know of the dangers of negative entities that could potentially be encountered. So I thought I'd give AP a go. And the first time I tried, I was able to reach the astral plane with relative ease. I'm told this means I have a natural gift and ability for an AP. When I travel, I climb out of my body and I'm able to look at myself laying on my bed. When I look at my astral hands, they're white, blue, and semi-transparent. Everything around me is black and white with a light blue tint and sort of smoky, and not quite solid. All around me, I see entities. The first time I saw 3 spirits. One was a kind female figure. The second was an angry and screaming woman. The third looked like a dying body, and it seemed like it was in pain. I also saw a shadow man who stood and watched me. I was able to float around my house, but as I reached my front door, I panicked and got back into my body. Since then, I began seeing a shadow man all around my house, and started to suffer sleep paralysis again. I think I brought him back with me by accident. Now when I give in to the SP, I find myself instantly in the astral world. The following 4 times I AP'd, I found myself face to face with shadow people, sometimes in the astral version of my house, and other times in a vast, empty blackness as far as the eye can see. They tried to hurt me, attack me, terrorize me until I fought my way back to my body. The 6th time I'd AP'd, I ran into an entirely different entity. A tall, shadowy, half-goat, half-man. At first, I felt threatened, but on reflection, and once awake, I didn't feel as though he was that threatening. The jury is still out in exactly what the creature is. It has been suggested that he is Pan, or Baphomet, or Faunus. The next time I found myself in the astral realm, I asked the goat man's name, and he told me that it was Morcor. I later discovered that it is a species of goat. I then found myself being quite literally dragged out of my physical body by a shadow person. I panicked. I called for Morcor, hoping perhaps he could help me, and he did. It was like he made the shadows disappear completely and brought me back into a dream where I was safe. That was my last experience, but I'm hoping to learn more about the goat man the next time I find myself back in the astral world. I can only hope whoever he is a positive entity, and not in fact just parading around as one to gain my trust.
Peculiar. After careful observation, it seems these are a new breed of human. They seem to have a superhuman ability to defy logic. Reasoning would be futile. Can we penetrate the delusion?
Piece of garbage. Nope.
It appears it will need further study. We may be losing these battles, but can we win the war of Generation Z? Perhaps we'll get a little closer when you join us again in the Mad Zone.